Namaste and welcome back. In this video, I will be presenting the concept of structures. Basically, these structures are very important for developing the complex data types and the data structures. That's what we are going to see in this course. The complex data structures such as linked lists, single linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, or multi-list, trees, all these are represented using these structures. So these structures are the basic units for these data structures. So that reason, understanding of structures and how the pointers are used with the structures and how structures are used as a pointer references. So these concepts are essential for understanding the next upcoming topics. So that is the reason this video covers the concept of structure. In the last video, we have seen that the arrays represents the homogeneous collection of data, where in case of structures uh, are the structures that holds the heterogeneous data. Heterogeneous in the sense non-similar type of data can be grouped into a pack called structure. So the structure like in array, whenever you declare an array of int x and whenever you initialize it as 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. All these values are of same type, that is integer type. So that reason it is said to be homogeneous. Where in case of structure, you can block or you can group different things which may belong to a particular block or a structure can be included in the structure. So now we'll see the advantage of now we'll see the advantages, and at the same time we'll also see the syntaxes and various ways of defining the structures and using them. Consider the example here, struct address. So when in this, in order to represent any address, first of all we require house number, street, that is maybe street name, and the area, that is called locality, the city where the particular house exists. Next is state, country, and pin code. So in this integer house number is of integer type, and street, area, city, state, country are of character types. That is, those are strings, and pin code is of integer type, which is somewhat long integer. So that means here the collection of three different things are there. One is long integer, another is simple integer, another is character. So three different data types are there. All these three different data types are grouped into a pack, which is called structure. So this is the way structure will be defined. The structure will be defined with the keyword called struct, with structure name and the related data type, related variables that are used in this structure, and bracket closed with a semicolon. So this is what we call structure definition. The variables that are defined within the structure are said to be structure members. And for this entire structure, we can also define some variables. Those variables can be initialized here. That means at the time of declaration itself, like after this bracket close, you can say addr1, address 1, addr2, addr3. So like that, we can initialize the variable. We can declare the variables. We may also declare the variables in the same way, like struct address add1, add2, add3, like that. We can also declare the structure like this. Either we may use the variables like this, or we may declare the variables like this, or we may also declare the variables at the time of declaration of the structure. Next, these structures can be aliased using typedef. So typedef is a keyword used for aliasing a data type. That means we are considering a particular structure type as some name, so that the same name can be used anywhere without keep on writing struct before that particular structure name. For example, if you look at typedef struct, so that means we are going to use this as a structure type. Type def struct, and here I am going to write one thing is int mm, int dd, int yy, month, date, and year. So here I will write doj. Doj means date of join. So wherever you want to represent this structure, you can represent directly via doj. So I can say doj, doj1, doj2, doj3, like that you can declare. That means no need to write like a struct address, etc. If you represent type def struct, whatever the name you give it for, which is called alias name, the same alias name can be used for declaring the variables of the corresponding structure. So this is the way you can declare the structure. So the next thing is, so far we have seen how to define the structure and how to use the alias type def for defining the structure. And now the third point is structures can be nested. So within one structure, another structure can be declared or used. So for that, I will write an example. So I will write an example for struct student, or I can say type def struct student. I'm going to use like this. So in this student, char name of the student, and doj, which is date of joining of the student in the institute, and I want to call address of the institute, address of the student, ADTR. So here doj and address are two structures that are defined within the structure student. So thereby this doj and address, these two are declared within the structure student. So now the structure student becomes the nested structure. Nested means this is within one structure, another structure is going to be defined. So then now you can use struct student, student 1, student 2, student 3, like that you can declare any number of structure variables. So this is the way you can nested the structure. Now in arrays we have seen, in order to avoid multiple variables declarations of the same type, we have made as a compact one with the help of array. Same way you can also define the arrays like this: student std of 20. That means you are going to declare an array of 20 structures of type student. So this is the way you can also define a structure like this. One more thing is, we have seen in the pointers in the last video, we may also use student star stud. Now I may use dynamic memory allocation for creating how many number of structure types we want. So for that, I can create the dynamic memory, and I can allot the values to that, and I can retrieve the values from the memory. So these are the two ways whenever you want to deal with multiple structures at once. Either one you can use array of structures, or you can use a pointer with which you can create a dynamic memory. You can allot the dynamic memory allocation. With the dynamic memory allocation, you may go for reading or writing of the content. So there is here in the first case, this is going to be static memory allocation. Here 20 size, that is for 20 structure members of type student, the memory will be allocated at the time of compilation. In the case of in the second statement, the memory will be allocated at the time of runtime. So How much memory will be allocated for structure student? So this structure student consisting of address, that is, we'll get a, we need to add size of address plus size of DOJ plus size of char array of 20. So these are the various things that you can that means these are the various sizes that need to be added to get the size of the structure. So one is size of address to be added with the size of DOJ with the size of character array. Means the size of these three numbers will give you the size of this structure student. In the same way, DOJ size is size of int plus size of int plus size of int, like that for this. So that much size need to be allocated. That means 20 for 20 records into that much size will give you the dynamic memory for this particular student star STUD. Next one is how to initialize the structures. So the structure can be initialized at the time of declaration itself, or else you may read the values via using the scanf function and can assign the values to it. So in order to initialize the structure at the time of declaration, you may use the things like this. For example, in case of type of structure, int month, date, and year. So these three are there. So you can use like this is equal to within the brackets, clever brackets you are supposed to use. Today's date is 20 and 08 and 2020. So this is the way I can declare. So this is the way I can declare so that the first variable mm will be assigned 20, second variable dd will be assigned 8, and third variable yy that will be assigned 20. So this is the way how the variable installation will be done in case of structures. If you want to initialize the structure variable, then the default values will be allotted to the structure members. That means since I have declared here DOJ1 is 28 and 2020, so the corresponding values will be assigned to YY respectively. But in case of DOJ2, I have not initialized the structure. So the reason by default, default values such as 0, 0, 0 will be allotted to the DD, and YY. Now we'll see how this thing will be allotted. So here I have defined a main method in which int temp, which is a temporary variable I have mentioned. So I have not initialized this variable. Just I declared the variable. Now printf temp %d. So this value has to be printed here. DOJ1 that is this DOJ1 that is 20 has to be printed. Next one is DOJ2 So DOJ2 means I have not initialized the DOJ2 variable. So what I will do is temp. So anyhow temp will be directly placed here. So in order to get the DOJ that is variable from DOJ, you are supposed to use the variable value. You are supposed to use the period operator or dot operator to get the to refer the variable from the structure variable. So DOJ1 dot. So you look at whatever the values are there, that those values will be placed here. DOJ1 dot Next one is DOJ2 dot So this is the way you are supposed to refer the structure members from structure variables. So this is the way you are supposed to declare so that the corresponding values will be printed on the screen. Now we'll run this code. Supposed to define it as a struct type because it is not type def type, it is only struct type. So the reason it is giving you some error here. So now we'll see whether it will run or not. Okay, successfully run. Temp is equal to 0, DOJ1 underscore is equal to 20, and DOJ2 underscore is equal to 0 because we have not initialized the variable of DOJ2 structure variable. So that's the reason we got the doj2 underscore mm as 0. So this is the way the variable initialization to be done with this in the structure. So like how you have declared an array, like that we have declared an array of student structure here. At the same time, we have also declared a pointer type of student structure. So like this, we can also declare another type of like doj star ddoj. So we may also declare like this. Either uh, either this particular variable declaration can be done within the main method or outside the main method, and even structures can also be defined within the main method or maybe outside of the main method. Anywhere you can declare the structures at the same time for the structure variables also. Now we'll see how to use this structure variable, that is structure pointer variable like doj star ddoj. Basically, this ddoj should be in a position to hold only the ddoj, that is doj types. Now what I will do is I will declare ddoj is equal to ampersand doj1, because the doj1 is also of type doj. So now what I'm doing is I'm assigning an address of doj1 in ddoj. Now what I will do is I will try to print mm is equal to percentile d, dd is equal to percentile d, yy is equal to percentile d. So in order to refer to a variable, or in order to refer to a structure member from the pointer variable of the structure, in order to do that, previously in a normal condition we have used the period operator, but here in this condition we are supposed to use arrow mark operator to access the variables. ddoj arrow mark mm, ddoj arrow mark dd, ddoj arrow mark yy. So this is the way you are supposed to represent, so that the corresponding values will be printed onto the screen. Because already doj1 was initialized with 28 and 2020, so corresponding values will corresponding value, that is corresponding variable address is assigned to the ddoj. So with ddoj I can access mm, dd and yy. So mm is 20, dd is 8 and yy is 2020. So this is the way we can access the pointers to the structure. Now what I'll do is a ddoj is equal to, I will assign doj2. That means a doj2 address was allotted to the assigned to the ddoj. Now what you can do is you can scan the values, scanf percentile d ddoj mm. But when you scan any variable, how you will use ampersand symbol, you need to place the ampersand symbol before the pointer type. Scanf percentile d comma ampersand ddoj hyphen mmdd. Scanf percentile d comma ampersand ddoj y. That means we are going to scan these values. Once we scan the values, then we need to print the values so that we can come to know that whether the scanning is successful or not. So we'll scan the values 28, 2020. So we got m is equal to 20, d is 8, and so this is the way you can assign the values and you can do it. For example, I don't have, now I can also assign ddoj is equal to null. So null in the sense means I am freeing the memory which is allotted to the DDOJ. Or you can also say DDOJ can also be used to create dynamic memory. DOJ star is DOJ type ML of size of DOJ. So dynamically some memory will be created in this. Now same thing we'll do here. Scanf and we'll print this. So previous scanf is for allocation of DOJ2 object to DOJ2 memory to DDOJ. Second one is we have created dynamically. So this is called dynamic memory allocation. So 28 2001. So 28 2001 was printed. So next it is asking for giving the values of reading the values of MMDDYY from dynamic memory allocation. Now I will give you I will give the values 1 1 2 so the values were printed on the screen. So that means if you look at utilization of this pointer variable of structure DOJ can be done in several ways. You may assign already initialized reference to the DDOJ, or uninitialized variable can be uninitialized reference can be assigned to DDOJ, and from there you can scan it. Or you may create the memory dynamically, to scan the values and print the values. So these are the different ways in which you can use the pointer variables to the structure. Next one is how we will consider the passing of normal data types to a function. In the same way, we can also consider passing of structures to a function. So now what I am doing is I will declare a function DOJ star allot memory DOJ star allot memory. This is the one function I am going to use. Another function is void print DOJ. So these are the two functions I'm going to declare. So this allot memory is a function that is going to return an address of type DOJ. Next one is I'm going to declare another function is of print DOJ that is taking the argument as DOJ. So since before this function declarations there is no DOJ declared, so what I'm doing is I will declare it after the all structure declaration. Now what I do is I will define this DOJ star allot memory. So what it will do is it returns DOJ type memory ML of size of DOJ. Okay. Next next is print DOJ void print DOJ. So which is taking DOJ pointer. So this is to print the DOJ values such as equal to %d, dd is equal to %d, and yy is equal to %. So DOJ arrow mark DOJ arrow mark yy, DOJ arrow mark dd. So DOJ arrow mark dd. So wherever this printf function is there in my main method, there I can call this print DOJ. Wherever dynamic memory is allocated, there I can use allot memory. So what I will do is, so here printf is there, DDOJ was passed. So I will comment this and I will use print DOJ of DDOG. So this is the reference I am passing to the print DOG. Same way, I will comment this and I will call print DOJ of DD. Next is also same, print DOJ of DD. Here, instead of this writing like this, allot memory. So what is allot memory will do? This memory allocation will be done. That is DOJ memory will be allocated dynamically. Now let us see. So we have this particular mm is equal to 28 2020, that is previous function that what we have written. Next simply 11,000 I am giving. So we got this particular value. Then 2000, same thing I got. So that means we are going to replace this printf statement with the functions that what we have written here. So these functions, that is allot memory is for the dynamic memory allocation, that we replaced here. Next is print DOJ, where DOJ reference is going to be passed. The same print DOJ function is called here. So this is the way how we can use the functions and how can we pass the structures to the functions, so that functions can be used for manipulating or used for working with the structures. Now here I am defining another function, type def struct, type def struct int marks of 5, marks of 5. Here m list, this is marks list, add name of 1. So this m list ml1, ml2, ml3, like that you can write any number of, or m list star m list. So you may assign the address to the address of the m list variables like ml1, ml2, ml3. These addresses can be substituted in m list and you can do the manipulation. So here m list is equal to ampersand ml1. Now this we need to read the values. So printf enter the values into m list, printf percentile d. So what are the values we need to enter? First is character, right? Percentile c, or we may use the first one, that enter name. So here we can use getters of m list hyphen name. So we can use getters statement. So in order to use getters, we need to include hash include string dot h. So string header file can be used for working with the getter statement. Anyhow, getters will also work with the stdio.h because it is also a kind of standard input output. But I need to read 5 marks. So that is the reason I need an index for this. For I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, scanf, percentile d, m list hyphen marks. What is the structure we have used? Marks of 5. Marks of I. So since this is an array type, you may read the values like percent. So next is printf. The values are puts, getters and putters are the functions. Mlist name and same thing you have to use for loop for printing the mark. Printf contain d backslash n mlist mark. Now what I do is I will comment these statements so that no need to repeat the already compiled statements because already we did it. So enter the name Raghu and we need to enter the marks 50, 70, 80, 85. So the values are Raghu 50, 60, 70, 80, 85. So this is the way how you can read the arrays from the structures and structure pointers. So via the help of a structure pointer, I am going to read the values marks and also printing onto the screen. So this is the way how we can read the arrays. If you are not using the pointer variable, then directly only via dot operator you can read the value or you can print the value. Now we will see another case. Here I am writing a structure struct node consisting of fields like int val and struct node star next. So here you look at the same structure which is available here, and the same was also used as a member in the structure. So and this is of pointer type. This particular member is of pointer type. So the reason this way of referring the member of the same type is called self-referential structure. Self-referential structures. Previously, in the previous cases, we have seen normal way of referring the structures because structures can be referred in a normal way. It means if a structure refers itself via a pointer, then such type of references or such type of structures are said to be self-referential structures. These self-referential structures are very much important and useful in the linked list preparation or maybe in any complex data structures preparation. In the previous structures we have seen here, so if you want to calculate the size of this particular structure, then the size of this structure address is equal to the size of house number plus size of street plus size of area plus size of city plus size of state plus size of country and pin. So if I want to check the size, then what I do is I will write a function. I will also comment these things. So already because we have already seen these things, so that I'm commenting this. You can uncomment afterwards and you can check it. So here printf size of address struct is percentile d comma size of struct size of struct address. So what is the size of struct address? That is the thing. Now we'll run this. So what is the size of the struct address? Is 108 bytes. 108 bytes is the structure size, that is address structure size. So in a similar way of structure, that is collection of heterogeneous elements, there is another structure usage or another structure type which is called union. So union is nothing but it is just like, it will behave just like structure only, but the size of the union is the maximum size of the members, maximum size of the all members. So maximum size of all members means here the size of integer house number is 4 bytes, street is 20 bytes, area is 20 bytes. That is maximum of 4 bytes, 20, 20, 20, 20, long, which is of 10 bytes. So maximum of 4, 20, 10. So what could be the size here? 20 is the size that can be allotted to the union. So whenever I say union address, union ADR. So now what I do is I will write another printf statement. This is to calculate the size of structure, and this is to calculate the size of address union. This percentage. Structure union ADR. Now, so the size of address union is 20, but where in case of size of structure is 108. So in order to make the memory compact, it is recommended to use union. But if you want a detailed memory for every member of the structure, then it is always better to use structures. So this is what the difference between the this is what the difference between the structure and union. So in this video, we have seen basic structure of the or basic building syntax of the structure, and how the structure members are going to be accessed. The structure members are accessed by structure variables with the help of dot operator. And whenever you are using structure pointer type, then the structure members are referred with the help of arrow mark operator. Then we have seen how to use the structure pointers in the way of assigning the references of the structure, and we can create the dynamic memory and we can read the values, or we can also assign already existing object to that and we can read the values. Then also we have seen how to pass the structures to the function and how to return the address of the function, address of the structure via a function. And finally, we have seen the difference between the structure and union. So these are the basic things that everyone should know first before moving on to the complex data types that we will discuss in this course. So among all these things, the very important thing is dynamic memory allocation and the self-referential structure. How that means in a structure, if it is referring itself, or means if it is referred by itself via a pointer, then such kind of structures are said to be self-referential structures. These self-referential structures are important for building the complex data structures such as trees and lists. So that is reason this thing is very important. Whenever the concept of complex data structures come into picture, there I will explain in detail how to create dynamic memory allocation, how to allot dynamic memory, or how to reference the values, or how to allot the values to the structure and those data structures in detail whenever the corresponding topic comes into the picture. So that's all for this video. So I hope from past 3 videos you might have gone to the brushing up of the basic things. So these are the very basic things that are essential. So many other things that will come in due course. Whenever it comes, I will discuss in detail.